Chapter 182 The Entrusted Will. Kondo and Carrara stood, not with strength, but with sheer will and pride. His will was a soldier's oath, unyielding in uniform, never to accept defeat. Hers was the pride of a demon, one who refused to fall, no matter the cost. In truth, they were both spent. Kondo had activated Abyss Annihilation, and, against all odds, managed to redirect the torrent of energy. Next time, if there was one, he could do it flawlessly without sacrificing his body. But now was not that time. To survive a spell that resembled the embodiment of chaos itself, that alone spoke volumes of Kondo's willpower. But the cost was absolute. His spirit energy, his chakra, was drained dry. Not a spark remained to summon even a single bullet. Simply put, he was powerless. He remained alert, but defenseless. If struck again, he would not survive. That was the state of Kondo. Carrara's situation wasn't far removed. Both her arms had been annihilated by the same technique, Abyss Annihilation. She had tried to control her energy, but the opposing anti-spirit energy backlash had been too great, and her arms were disintegrated as a result. Still, she stood, a bizarre image of dignity despite her broken form. But she was a spirit. So long as her core remained, she would not fall. Only 2 of her 6 wings remained, barely supporting her body. Her majestic circuits were damaged beyond use. Despite her vast mana reserves, she couldn't access them. Regeneration would take time, and time was a luxury the battlefield did not afford. Even so, Karara faced forward. She would fight until the end. From the deck of the airship above, others watched. Emperor Rudra, Major General Shamdi, a handful of elite mages. The Emperor was safe behind impenetrable barriers, but the rest worked frantically to maintain them. Their airship was the last one afloat. Every other had been destroyed. Communications with the Empire were severed, jammed by the raider demons. Escape through teleportation, also blocked. This ship was their lifeline. Shamdi, Kakka, if that blast had hit us, we wouldn't have stood a chance. The voice came from one of the mage's nerves barely held in check. Shamdi grimaced. Which blast? He could ask. All the attacks had been absurd, rewriting the laws of magic and reason. Still he knew which one the mage meant. The shot fired by the demon lord Rimuru, who now dueled with Scorched Dragon Velwind, was in a league of its own, a reality-breaking force. The other attacks, powerful as they were, still acknowledged the world's rules. That one did not. Don't say it. We can only fulfill our duty. Now. Shamdi's voice was firm, rallying. They had to protect the Emperor, escape, regroup with reinforcements, assuming they arrived. It was a long shot, but it was the only shot they had. Just then, a battered figure appeared before Shamdi, panting from exertion. His armor was scorched and torn, yet still gleamed faintly beneath the grime. The Emperor, is he safe? It was Gradim, captain of the Beast Corps. Gradim, Dono, you're alive? Shamdi's surprise was genuine. He had assumed the man lost when the demons decimated the Beast Corps below. A miracle, barely escaped using the transfer device. Gradim rasped. I was arrogant, thought I was strong, but the enemy, no, they're monsters. Shamdi nodded grimly. Not your fault. They're above anything we anticipated. Some are likely demon nobles and powerful ones at that. Gradim's gaze turned to the Emperor. Still, I couldn't die until I made sure His Majesty was safe. I must get him out of here. Shamdi hesitated, then met his eyes. If I leave him to you, can you defend him while we push the ship to full speed? We'll need to break through the spatial barrier. If we get out of range, teleportation will work again. Gradim nodded. It's our only chance. Shamdi looked back toward the Emperor, motionless now, silent. It was worrying. The castle guard barrier, granted by the ultimate skill Justice King Michael, was absolute, but it had conditions. Few knew what those were, but Shamdi wasn't comforted by ignorance. If Kondo had risked his life to shield the ship, then even that skill wasn't foolproof. They had to move. I'm counting on you, Gradim Dono. Shamdi barked. Gradim bowed deeply as Shamdi and the bridge crew ran to their stations. But behind his helmet, the thing wearing Gradim's face smiled cruelly. The duel below reached its climax. With no magic left, Kondo and Carrara fought with fists alone. Each strike, each parry was an act of sheer will. Kondo had channeled his last remaining energy into his divine Don, Sandalphon the Executioner. Carrara, meanwhile, had managed to regenerate a single arm and poured her final reserves into that one fist. She had even dropped her defenses, her body now vulnerable, yet she stood firm. For Kondo, retreat was the rational choice. For Carrera, it was the most humiliating moment of her existence. But neither yielded. They fought. From above, the impostor Gredim watched. Kondo, though on death's doorstep, moved with purpose. Carrera, down an arm, deflected even his best blows. But it was the gun that posed the real threat. Seconds passed, feeling like hours. Then, with practiced ease, the impostor made his move. One armored hand pierced Kondo's chest. Simultaneously, an energy blast slammed into Carrera. Kondo crumpled, blood pouring from his mouth as the man kicked him aside, then ripped out his heart and devoured it. Guhahaha, look at that. I'm the one who took down the legendary Kondo. In the end, I was stronger. Guha, you're not Gradim. Kondo rasped. Of course not, the thing grinned. Don't insult me by comparing me to that weakling. With that, he raised both hands, energy crackling, remove blast. The spatial barrier cracked, weakened further by Kondo's earlier interference. Even dying, you're useful. Thanks for the assist, Kondo. Don't worry, I'll take care of the Emperor for you. Now be at ease, and die. Energy blasts rained down on the fallen. Then, without waiting to confirm, he retreated toward the ship. The demons were closing in, and he needed to escape before the barrier repaired. Kondo lay broken, eyes fluttering, closed. So pathetic, he couldn't protect his homeland. He couldn't fulfill his promise to the Emperor. Become my friend, Tatsuya. He had failed that promise too. He couldn't ease his friend's burden, couldn't stop the Justice King. The Emperor had told him long ago, if I ever lose control, kill me. That is your duty. But he had hesitated, and now it was too late. He saw flashes of their old conversations, the man who once pulled him from despair. The boy called Yuki, whose heart was dark like his own. A mistake Kondo had tried to erase. All of it, too late. I guess I really couldn't do anything right, he muttered. Then, hey, enough lying around. Get up and fight me. Carrera's voice cut through the haze. Kondo opened his eyes. She stood before him, arm regenerated, golden hair flowing, face annoyed. Don't be absurd. I'm dying here. No finisher. That's not how this ends. Foo. A finisher, huh? You really aren't. He couldn't help but chuckle. Even now, she was absurdly herself. He tried to rise, failed. Can't move, can't do anything. She was free, powerful, unbroken. Am I jealous? I have a request, he gasped. Kill the Emperor. This gun. What am I doing? Entrusting a demon? But his strength was gone. He could no longer speak. His chakra, his will, it was all fading. He felt himself dissolve. Carrera frowned. What kind of deal is this? You want something from a demon. You need a proper contract. Kondo watched her fidget. She was his enemy, yet he smiled. Everything, even my soul, I give it all to you, please. With his last breath, he looked at her and handed her the gun, the sacred weapon still gleaming with divine light. As she accepted it, his body burst into light and was drawn into her. But the nucleic heart, the core of a saint, was gone. She knew it had already passed into the next life. Humph, too bad, she muttered. It's been a while since I had such a worthy opponent. Then the gun pulsed. Power surged. Ultimate skills Extinction King Abaddon and Sandalphon the Executioner have successfully integrated. Information flooded her mind. She understood it immediately. Mastered it. You're too rough. Be gentler with your mana, she thought. She heard Kondo's voice. Cheeky until the end. She stood. Agera and Esprit arrived, kneeling before her. You're safe, Carrera-sama. She nodded. Her aura was different now, refined, tempered. Let's go, she said coldly. We'll show the fool who interrupted our sacred battle what true despair looks like. And more importantly, she would fulfill the will that had been entrusted to her. End of chapter 182.